All right, thanks, guys. The Sharks take on the Penguins, 7 o'clock Eastern puck drop in the Steel City. The Penguins are the $1.75 favorite, total at 6. Now, we did see a 10-cent fade of Pittsburgh in the early wagering. They open $1.85 down to 175. Total open and remains at 6 goals. 69% are leaning Pittsburgh, 61% shaded toward the over. Right now, San Jose is plus $1.55 on the money line. Pittsburgh plus $1.40 on the puck line. We have Tristan Jarry for the Penguins, Aaron Dell for the Sharks. Dell comes into this game with a 4-6 record and a .315 goals against. Meanwhile, Tristan Jarry, 13-5-3 on the year, 1.88 goals against, .938 save percentage. Pittsburgh 16-4-2 at home. Very, very good in the Steel City. They're also 8-2 straight up in their last 10 at any location. Very good as of late. They rank in the top 10 in scoring, top 10 in goals allowed, getting the job done on both sides of the ice. Evgeny Malkin, 38 points on the year, 27 assists. He is plus 14 when he is on the ice. And Chris Letang, 10 goals on the year, 16 assists, 26 points for Letang. Now, San Jose on the other side, a little bit different story there. They rank in the bottom 5 in offensive shots, bottom 5 in goals allowed. We could see ourselves a good bit of scoring tonight. I'm going to lean toward the home chalk in this one. Give me Pittsburgh minus 175 and the over 6 goals in that game. All right, next matchup, it is going to be Blue Jackets taking on the Bruins, 7 o'clock Eastern puck drop at the Garden. The Bruins are the $2 favorite, total at 5.5. We saw a 10-cent fade of Boston and movement downward on the total. The Bruins open 210 down to minus 200. Total open 6 down to 5.5. 73% are leaning Boston, 54% shaded toward the over. Right now, Columbus is plus $1.70 on the money line. Boston plus 125, laying the goal and a half. We have Tuukka Rask for the Bruins. Elvis Merzlikins for Columbus. Merzlikins is just 1-4 in the year, 314 goals against. And meanwhile, Tuukka Rask, he's been awesome the past couple of seasons. 15-4-2 on the year, 231 goals against, 923 save percentage. Boston very good at home this year, 14-1-8 at the Garden. 3-1 straight up in their last 4 games played at any location. They rank in the top 10 in scoring, top 3 in goals allowed, getting the job done both offensively and defensively. Brad Marchand having one heck of a year, 20 goals, 39 assists. He is plus 20 when he is on the ice. Of course, David Pastrnak, 59 points on the season, 29 goals. He is plus 14 himself. Boston, top 10 in shots allowed, top 10 in home scoring. Meanwhile, Columbus on the other side, losers in 2 out of their last 3. Here's a bad omen for you. They are 6-6-6 on the road. That's right, 6 wins, 6 losses, 6 overtime losses on the road. Mark of the beast there. I don't know how you would play this if you were, superstitious. Of course, we're all superstitious gamblers, but 18 road games. They've only won 6 of them, but the official record is 6-6-6. All right, sorry to bug you guys out there. But anyway, Columbus, bottom 5 in scoring, 19th in road shots allowed. Columbus is also 5-0-1 to the under in their last 6. Boston 3-0 to the under in their last 3 themselves. I'm going to lean Bruins minus 1.5 and the under 5.5 in that game. Next matchup, Lightning taking on the Canadiens, and that's going to be a 7 o'clock Eastern puck drop in Montreal. Now, Tampa Bay pretty significantly favored here on the road. They're $1.45, totals at 6.5, and we saw a 10-cent move toward Tampa Bay. They open $1.35 up to minus 145. Total open and remains at 6.5. 71% are leaning Tampa Bay, 57% shaded toward the over. Right now, Montreal is plus $1.25 on the money line. Tampa plus $1.60, laying the goal and a half. Now, Tampa Bay right in the middle of a 4-game winning streak. Getting hot right now. Top 3 in goals, top 10 in offensive shots. Meanwhile, Montreal, losers in 4 out of their last 5. They also rank in the bottom 10 in goals allowed. Tampa Bay could potentially score double digits tonight. Watch it be a 2-1 game. But anyway, Tampa Bay 24-14 to the over on the year. I'm going to lean Tampa Bay minus 145 and the over 6.5 in that game. Before we go ahead and move on, just want to take a quick timeout and welcome you to the show. Got some lines and personal leans out for Thursday's NHL action. That's right, it is Thursday. It feels like a Monday. It always feels like a Monday the day after New Year's, but no. It is Thursday. The weekend's almost here already. So a couple of you guys had some days off, and you're going to get a few more here in the next couple of days. But anyway, before we go ahead and move on, just want to quickly remind you guys to check me out on my website at patreon.com/rockpage. You may want to think about doing that, guys. We went 3-2 yesterday for the second straight day. We're 60% in our last 10 premium picks on that site. We're also 5-2 in our last 7 crowd pleaser teasers. So if you like parlays, but you like hedging them, our teaser package has been on fire. Now, if you want to check out my current record, you can do that for free right now. The link for that site is in the description section below. My current record is right on the homepage. And once again, that is patreon.com/rockpage. All right, let's go ahead and get into some more free lines and personal leans right here on YouTube. All starts Eastern Standard Time. And on deck, we've got the Oilers taking on the Sabres, 7 o'clock Eastern puck drop in Buffalo. The Sabres are $1.30, total at 6. We saw a 10-cent move toward Buffalo in the early wagering. They open $1.20 up to minus 130, totals at 6. 71% are leaning Edmonton, 76% shaded toward the over. Right now, the Oilers are plus $1.20 on the money line. Buffalo plus 195, laying the goal and a half. We have Linus Ullmark for the Sabres, Mikko Koskinen for Edmonton. Koskinen's 14-8-1 on the year, 285 goals against, 912 save percentage. Edmonton 14-7 against the spread on the road, and of course, I've said it before, when I refer to the spread in the NHL, I'm referring to the puck line. So once again, Edmonton 14-7 in their last 21 puck line plays on the road. They also rank in the top 5 in goals allowed on the road. Very, very good defensively. Top 10 in shots allowed on the road as well. So keep that in mind. Now, Connor McDavid, he's having a pretty good year. He started off red hot. He's still playing some really, really good hockey right now. 64 points on the year, 42 assists, 22 goals for Connor. Meanwhile, Leon Draisaitl, he's having a great year as well. 39 assists, 62 points. And Zach Cashin, 27 points on the year. He is +4 when he is on the ice. Now, Buffalo, speaking of ice, they are ice cold, losers of their last 4 straight. They're also just 1-7 straight up in their last 8. They're averaging just 2.9 goals per contest, and they're ranking the bottom 10 in home offensive shots, really struggling to put the puck in the net. Now, ironically, Edmonton on the other side, their last 5 straight games all got over the total. So we could potentially, if this game goes the way I see it, might see a blowout in the favor of the underdog. I'm going to lean Edmonton plus 120 and the over 6 goals in that contest. Next game, Devils taking on the Islanders, and that's going to be a 7 o'clock Eastern puck drop in Long Island. The Islanders are minus 190, totals 5.5. We did see a 10-cent fade of the Islanders. They opened $2 down to minus 190, totals 5.5. 74% are leaning New York, 51% shaded toward the over. Right now, the Devils are plus 170 on the money line. The Islanders are plus $1.40 on the puck line. Semyon Varlamov is projected in net for the Islanders. Mackenzie Blackwood for the Devils. Now, Varlamov's 14-3-1 on the year, 243 goals against, 920 save percentage. The Islanders have won their last couple of games, 2-0 straight up in their last 2. 13-4-2 at home this year, very good as the home team. They rank the top 5 in goals allowed. Matt Barzal, 34 points on the year. He's plus 10. Big Brock Nelson, 14 goals in the year, 16 assists for him. And Anders Lee, 11 goals, 23 points for Anders. Now, the Devils on the other side, out of their 19 road games, they have been victorious in just 8 of them. They rank the bottom 5 in scoring, bottom 3 in goals allowed. And when it comes to the total, the Islanders are 24-14 to the under on the year. I'm going to lean New York Islanders minus 1.5 and the under 5.5 in that game. Next matchup, it is going to be Panthers taking on the Senators, 7:30 Eastern puck drop in Ottawa. Florida is minus 140, total 6.5. We did see a 10-cent move toward the Panthers in the early betting. They open $1.30 up to 140, total 6.5. 53% are leaning Panthers, 76% shaded toward the over. Right now, Ottawa's plus $1.20 on the money line. Florida plus $1.80 on the puck line. Florida just 7-3 on the road this year, bottom 3 in goals allowed away from home. Meanwhile, Ottawa, pretty good home team, 11-5-2 on their home ice. They're also 12-6 against the spread in those 18 home games. They rank in the top 10 in goals allowed at home, just 2.6 goals per contest in that category there. Now, Florida, 26-13 to the over on the year. I'm going to lean toward another underdog. This is going to be a home dog here. Give me Ottawa plus 120 and the over 6.5 in that contest. Next game, Maple Leafs taking on the Jets, 8 o'clock Winnipeg. The Leafs are $1.40 on the road, total 6.5. 10-cent move toward Toronto in the early betting. They open $1.30 up to 140, total 6.5. 55% are leaning Toronto, 76% shaded toward the over. Right now, the Jets are plus 120 on the money line. Toronto plus $1.70 on the puck line. Now, Toronto, they rank in the bottom 10 in goals allowed, struggling defensively, although they have a slew of wins. They play fast. They got some great scorers. But like I said, bottom 10 in goals allowed, bottom 10 in shots allowed as well. So giving their opponents plenty of opportunities. Total-wise, we're looking at 14-8 to the over in Toronto's 22 games on the road. So I'm going to go ahead and lean toward another dog, but combined with the over. So once again, give me Winnipeg plus $1.20 and the over 6.5 in that game. All right, next matchup, Rangers, Flames, 9 o'clock Calgary. The Flames are $1.80, total 6.5. We did see a 10-cent move toward Calgary in the early wagering. They open $1.70 up to 180, total 6.5. 57% are leaning Calgary, 69% shaded toward the over. Rangers are plus 160, Calgary plus 135 on the money line. Now, if you like the Flames in this spot here, they're not playing all that great, at least in the past couple of weeks. Out of their last 8 games, they've lost 6 of them. They're also just 6-14 against the spread at home. So if you're thinking about laying the puck line, just keep in mind, once again, out of their 20 home games, they failed to cover in 14 of them. They rank in the bottom 10 in scoring. Meanwhile, the Rangers, 3-2 straight up in their last 5. Not too bad there. They're 12-7 against the spread on the road as well, keeping them close. And they rank in the top 10 in scoring, believe it or not. Now, total-wise, Calgary, 26-16 to the under on the year. I like the Rangers, plus 1.5, another underdog, and the under 6.5 in that contest. Next game, Ducks taking on the Coyotes, 9 o'clock, Arizona. The Coyotes are $1.75, total at 5. Now, we did see movement on both the side and the total in this one. We saw a nickel move toward Arizona. No surprises there. We did see movement downward on the total. Probably expected that when these two teams get together. Arizona open $1.70 up to 175. Total open 5.5 down to 5 flat. 85% are leaning Arizona. 74% shaded toward the over. Right now, Anaheim's plus $1.55 on the money line. Arizona plus $1.55 on the puck line. Arizona just 9-10-1 straight up at home, 9-11 against the spread in those home games. They've also dropped 3 out of their last 4 matchups at any location. They're averaging just 2.8 goals per contest at home. Now the Ducks on the other side, they rank in the top 10 in shots allowed on the road. They are 11-9 against the spread when traveling. When it comes to this total, Arizona 25-17 to the under. That's why I said really no surprises with this total moving downward. But with all that said, I don't think we'll see a whole lot of scoring. So I'm going to lean Anaheim plus 1.5 and the under 5 flat in that game. Next matchup, Blues taking on the Avalanche. And that is going to be a 9:30 Eastern puck drop in Colorado. Potential playoff matchup here. Colorado's minus 135, total at 6. Nickel fade of the Avalanche in the early wagering. They open $1.40 down to 135. totals at 6. 61% are leaning St. Louis, 62% shaded toward the over. The Blues are plus $1.15 on the money line. Colorado plus $1.80 on the puck line. Now, Colorado's kind of struggling as of late. Just 2-6 straight up in their last 8 games. Just 9-10 against the spread in the Mile High City. They rank in the bottom 5 in shots allowed, bottom 5 in goals allowed at home, giving their opponents a lot of opportunities to put the puck in the net. Total-wise, Colorado, no surprises here, 13-6 the over at the Pepsi Center. I'm going to go ahead and lean St. Louis plus $1.15 in the over 6 goals in that matchup. Next game, Flyers taking on the Golden Knights. And that's going to be a 10 o'clock Eastern puck drop in the T-Mobile Arena. Golden Knights minus $1.70, total at 6. Nickel move toward Vegas. No movement on the total as of yet. Golden Knights open $1.65 up to 170. Totals at 6. 66% are leaning Vegas. 65% shaded toward the over. Right now, the Flyers are plus $1.50 on the money line. Vegas plus $1.45 on the puck line. Philadelphia has been playing some pretty good puck as of late. I don't foresee them getting blown out here. Give me Philadelphia plus 1.5 and the over 6 goals in that game. Next and final matchup for the show, it is going to be Blackhawks taking on the Canucks. 10 o'clock Eastern puck drop in Vancouver. The Canucks open $1.60 down to minus 150. Totals at 6. 64% on the Canucks, 54% on the over. The Blackhawks are plus 130 on the money line. Vancouver plus 165 on the puck line. Pretty expensive price, but I got to do it. Give me Vancouver minus 150 and the over 6 goals in that game. All right, let's go ahead and dive into our quick pick recap. Once again, brought to you by patreon.com/BrockPage, where we went 3-2 in our premium picks yesterday. Good for 60%. I like the Flyers plus 1.5 over 6 goals. Vancouver minus 150 over 6 goals. St. Louis plus $1.15 over 6 goals. Rangers plus 1.5 under 6.5. Anaheim plus 1.5 under 5 goals. Winnipeg plus 120 over 6.5. Ottawa plus 120 over 6.5. Tampa Bay minus 145 over 6.5. Pittsburgh minus 175 over 6 goals. Islanders minus 1.5 under 5.5. Edmonton plus $1.20 over 6 goals. And last but certainly not least, I like Boston minus 1.5 and the under 5.5 in that game.